I'm enjoying today's show because it's things that I get emotionally worked up over. Those are my favorite stories. It's usually because
the whole show.
It's usually because we're exposing the biggest lies that every asshole I know in Hollywood still believes. I saw a comedian, not skeptical of he wasn't skeptical about COVID, and he's not skeptical about the climate change narrative.
Right.
Not what your job isn't to and so they do videos, they do jokes, they do everything about reinforcing the climate change narrative. You know that's not your job as a comedian to prop up the status quo and the 99% of all. Anyway,
I thought my job was to worry about my career as a comedian. My main job is my career as an insecure person who needs approval.
Your job as a comedian is to poke holes in the status quo and the establishment narrative. That whole thing about 99.99% of all scientists agree on climate change and all the studies all agree. Yeah, so they don't need a comedian to tell people that everybody else is saying the same thing. Yeah. A comedian is supposed to find the holes in their story and blow it up. That's what a comedian is supposed to do. Now, I've been a very successful comedian in my career. I've had 2 Comedy Central specials, one that was chosen Best of the Year by iTunes and Punchline Magazine. I've headlined improvs and theaters all across the country and the world. I did a Hulu special. I did...
Well, Jimmy, being a successful stand-up comedian, means you are what's called a failed stand-up comedian. That's what that phrase means. I don't know if you know that.
So, I would just, it's so disheartening. I was always loved that I was part of a comedy community, and the comedy community is just completely taken a shit. Or maybe it's just that I woke up to them. Maybe they were always that horrible.
You just woke up to it. You just woke up to it. They always, first of all, the alt scene always was smuggling as shit. And
agreed.
Community, we're not improvers with stand-up. So all the thing of like the popular high school crap, that's why those people who still wear masks and say that nonsense to you, they're weak, small people. And I don't know, like, at what validation you need. You know, I get if like mommy wasn't nice or whatever everybody's problem is, but at a certain point, you know, you would think you would grow up and take responsibility for your own research.
You would think. Hey, you know, I'm getting older. I don't like to read. You could see it. Look at it in my hair. You could see it. And what the thing is, stuff starts to hurt for no reason as you get older. I wake up in the morning, and it's like, ow, my shoulder. What did I do last night? Oh, I waved goodbye. It's my own fault. Should have warmed up. Well, guess what? We have a thing called Qualia Senolytic. It's the first of its kind formula designed to help your body naturally eliminate senescent cells. What? Tell me more, Jimmy. Okay. Senolytics are a science field revolutionizing human aging. That's why I started out with that story. A big culprit behind the middle-aged feeling, which I have, can be senescent cells. AKA, they're called zombie cells that linger in your body after their useful function, wasting your energy and resources. The accumulation of zombie cells can lead to less energy, slower workout recovery, joint discomfort, and basically just feeling old. Here's how it works. You take the Qualia, you take it just 2 days a month, helping your body naturally eliminate zombie cells to age better at the cellular level. Experience the science of feeling younger. Go to quallife.com/Dore for up to 50% off your purchase and use code DORE for an additional 15% off. I'm not a math surgeon. That's 65% off. That's quallife.com. That's QUALIALIFE.com/Dore for an extra 15% off your purchase. Your older self will thank you. And thanks to Qualia for sponsoring this episode. All right.
Do you want to do an outro?
What? I don't know what you mean.
We just do dates.
Oh, okay.
She has it.
Yeah, put it in.
She's got it. Stand by.
Put it in. That's what she said. All right, watch it.
Jimmy, what was the
We're doing a family show here.
What was the thing that you enjoyed most last night at San Jose?
I liked my new jokes that I did about Doge that went over.
Right.
about how Doge is turns out it's a big mirage because they took all that money and they put it right back into the Pentagon, which is what we're going to talk about in coming up in today's show. That was one of my, and then I love doing the crowd work. I was talking to a guy named Dayan. That was fun. Those are maybe my two favorite things.
Yeah.
Oh, I also liked how my joke about getting bottom surgery went over.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
When is our next show in Los Angeles? The 24th of May?
Yeah, we just added it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, because
Okay.
it's before you go to Ottawa.
I got you.
I think. I don't know.
Come see us live in Los Angeles, Buffalo, Toledo, Montreal, Ottawa, Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, and more. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Also, London. Did we say London? All right, let's do it again. Come see us live in Los Angeles, Buffalo, Toledo, Montreal, Ottawa, Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast. Oh, what happened? Come see us live in Los Angeles, Buffalo, Toledo, Montreal, Ottawa, Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, London, Liverpool, Birmingham. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.
Wow, nice
I'm good.
work, kiddo.
I'm
All
good.
right, thank you so much.
Steph, read some things.
I'm going to read some things. I think that's a good idea. The Mason Blake. I just finished reading Alex Jones, The Great Reset, a few weeks ago, and his points about technocracy are so clearly obvious in society, and yet so many idiots don't recognize it. The Mason Blake. Thank you for that, The Mason Blake. All right, here we go. We're just exactly alike. I know. That's how you could tell. Carl Shannon, the Chinese economy is booming and can afford to fund their social programs. This Logan's Run ethos is a Western phenomenon. I don't think China had anything to do with it. Carl Shannon. Reading Brave. Go ahead, buddy.
China didn't have anything to do with what? I missed it because I was walking the dog.
Okay. That was a fast walking the dog. Let me see what he. Let me see if I can find it.
She just shits in the yard.
Oh, okay.
I don't know in this place.
Carl said the Chinese economy is booming and can afford to fund their social programs. This Logan's Run ethos and Western phenomenon, I don't think China had anything to do with it.
China, I don't know if you've been there, dude, but I don't know about what
I've
social
never been.
programs. They don't got social programs like that. And they're pretty Logan's Run as well. As I said, the coronavirus in Wuhan lab, that's a joint venture. You know how the WEF bastards all love China? So there's the New World Order side, and then there's whatever Trump's side is. I don't know what faction of Deep State it is. But the faction that made that virus, they're all in it together, and China had a lot of old people clear out. A lot of people's governments want to kill them. There's not a good government out there. There isn't. They're all part of the same thing.
All right. Here we go. Reading Brave New World Revisited, Aldous Huxley pointed out how future dictatorships would be closer to Brave New World than 1984. Exceptional propaganda, sickness, and sedation with chemicals, etc. Thank you for that one, Mason.
Well, plus 1980. We got both of them. We got the worst of both worlds.
We've got Combo Cup. Even Star 379. I love that Jimmy will never let go of this issue. Thank you so much for that one, Even Star.
That's great. It actually makes me mad that people just act like we're past it.
It's unbelievable. It's like, how stupid can you be that you think that they're not going to try to perpetuate this kind of illness on our country time and time, the world rather. Back to Jimmy.
We're in the middle of the experiment. So usually they have to test vaccines for 10 years. We're at year 4. So we don't know what the effects are of this yet. We're the guinea pigs. We're still
Fauci told me that.
Yeah.
I heard that from Fauci, what you just said. That's the word of Fauci. Gospel.
So it turns out there was a mole in Donald Trump's administration in the White House. And they found him and they got rid of him. His name is Mike Waltz. And he was it appears he was way more loyal to Israel than the United States. Like most of our politicians, by the way.
Yeah, a mole? I mean, that...
Well, here, let's listen. James Lee's going to get this. Here's James Lee. He says, let me get this straight. The punishment for Mike Waltz allegedly coordinating with Netanyahu to bomb Iran and using an Israeli app that exposed U.S. classified information is a cushy appointment at the as UN ambassador? Sure, it's cushy, but he's out of the White House. Best you can do with a traitor on behalf of Israel is to get him out of the White House. That's it.
Well, where do you think you live, James? Do you think this is a real country?
So here's what James Lee has to say. Listen, this, hold on to your, because this is going to blow it off. Watch.
I guess there are limits in this White House. Trump finally fired someone, his national security advisor, Mike Waltz, and this story is absolutely wild. First, a little backstory. Mike Waltz is the same guy who accidentally added a journalist into a highly sensitive Signal group chat in which high-level officials were discussing attack plans. He claimed that the phone number was somehow sucked in.
How's the number on your phone?
Well, if you have somebody else's contact and then then somehow it gets
someone
sucked
sent
in.
you that.
Sucked in or not, whatever that means, that should be a fireable offense. I mean, imagine if you or I did something like that at our job, we would be fired instantly. But anyway, Trump looked into it and he stuck with his man at the time. Now, fast forward to a couple days ago, Mike Waltz was caught using Signal again, this time in a cabinet meeting, except it wasn't the regular Signal group chat that you and I would download. He was caught using something called TM Signal, which is an Israeli modified version of Signal with archiving features to receive and relay potential classified information.
So what that means is, he was communicating on a secret app with Israeli intelligence while in the White House. That means he's a traitor to our country, and he was a mole put there by the, I'm going to guess, the deep state, put in Trump's cabinet by the deep state to sabotage any peace talks he would have, and to make sure we went to war with Iran at the behest of Israel, just like we went to war in Iraq at the behest of Israel, just like we went to war in Libya at the behest of Israel, just like we went to war in Lebanon, just like we went to war with the Houthis right now, just like we went to war in Syria. It was all at the behest of Israel. And that's why he's there. And that's why they caught him. Kurt, have you noticed that this has been reported in corporate media that he was using an Israeli version of Signal? Did you?
First time hearing about it, Jimmy.
Okay, here we go.
And the story that just broke this morning is that Waltz was fired because he, quote, engaged in intense coordination with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about military options against Iran ahead of an Oval Office meeting between the Israeli leader and Trump. The view by some in the administration was that Waltz was trying to tip the scales in favor of military action and was operating hand in glove with the Israelis. This is the national security advisor just casually texting a foreign government on the side in a cabinet meeting. A Trump advisor told the Washington Post, quote, "You can't do that. You work for the president of your country, not a president of another country."
Well, I guess the good news is that Israel still feels the need that they have to spy on our country. And that, I guess that means they haven't taken it over completely. So
yeah, you don't have a best friend that put a spyware in your phone?
Right, yeah. Okay, there's more to this.
To me, that's treason. No, working hand in glove with a foreign president to possibly undermine U.S. national security interests, gotta be treason. Agree? Disagree? But alas, I guess the repercussion for that nowadays is just a cushy appointment to be the next ambassador to the United Nations. This government is not serious.
Yeah. So we're run by Israel. What do you want to say?
James should look into 9/11 while he's looking at, is it treason? Yeah, it is treason. Throw it on the pile.
Yeah. He's young. Got to cut him some slack. He's young.
No, I know. He's good. I think he does great work, but I'm amazed watching people that are smart not. I always want to see that moment when their light bulb came on. Like, I wonder if those other things might have some problems.
Just to go back, flashback, here's General Mark Milley, who, by the way, now works for Wall Street. He's now a banker. Isn't that amazing?
Heroes.
Isn't that amazing? He's the real. He said that the bank. He gave a speech to Wall Street, and in that speech, he said, "You're the real heroes."
He ditched the zeros and got with the heroes.
Yeah. How much money does it take for a general to say bankers are the real heroes? I'm going to guess a couple $1 million.
I'll bet it's even cheaper.
I bet it is cheaper. Steak dinner. Flashback. General Mark Milley said he would tell China ahead of time if the United States was planning to attack China. And he had a secret call with China behind Trump's back. So that's also called treason.
Well, they had that COVID project, and we're not going to look into the extent of the treason because it extends all through COVID and the vaccine and all that. There's a lot of treason around.
Yeah. So, and here's Business Insider. Trump says top U.S. general should be tried for treason for intervening to prevent a war in China. Did he get a pardon too from Biden?
Yes, he did.
He got a pardon because everybody knew he's a traitor to our country and committed actual treason.
Oh, he's an absolute Manchurian candidate robot for the New World Order. See, the deep state's not one faction. You understand? They're vying. This is eugenicists.
Yeah, well, you go to the Council
survival of the fittest.
If you go in the Council on Foreign Relations, that's the basically a conglomeration of the deep state. All those corporations that sponsor
it was established as that.
Yeah,
yes, it was, and that's way back when we got in World War I. It's in that book, Tragedy and Hope. But yeah, that is we got taken over a long time ago, quite a long time ago.
Just make a list in your head of all the people that actually should be up for treason trials, and the list would be longer than the last State of the Union address. I'll tell you that.
And they all took, I've never saluted the flag in my life because it was against my religion. You're not supposed to take blood oaths if you're a Christian. But all these people did. They all took oaths that they violate over and over again. How do you square that with yourself? You just constantly do that.
So Trump didn't even just flat out fire him. Trump gave him another job.
He put him out of the way, but he can't fire him. That's Israel. Clinton, I can't remember the name of the spy that we had that Clinton was not going to free. Clinton didn't want to let him go. It was an Israeli spy. Do you remember that?
I do not.
An Israeli spy. Well, he wouldn't let him go, and wouldn't you know it, a nice Jewish girl blew him under a desk and it suddenly created a problem for him. Right after he didn't want to let that Israeli spy go. And that's
so I've heard that before. I've heard that she was an op.
Yeah. So I mean, all the things. It's so amazing to look back and your take on it back then and see now how you get chumped at every turn.
I'm gonna go on.
Whitey Webb's got a bunch about it, but it's not hard to find.
Who Whitey?
Whitey has it. Whitey. She does exhaustive research.
Yes. Bill Clinton was blackmailed by Israel's child sex trafficking ring all throughout his presidency and still to this day. This is from Ian Carroll.
Mm-hmm. Well, our whole government is, just so you know, Ian, like George Poppy Bush as well.
Yeah.
Cheney, all of them. Henry Kissinger.
I did an interview with what's that guy from Mumford & Sons name?
Yeah, the British guy.
The British guy. So I traveled across. Winston Marshall
Mumford
was in town, and he wanted to interview me. So I took a shower, got in the car, drove over to where he was. It's a 40-minute round trip. We did over an hour interview, and he didn't know anything about Israel or Gaza. All he knew was propaganda, like he was with Blitzer. And so
I didn't know anything until the show.
I had to school him on it. So I had to teach him that but he never even heard of the Hannibal Directive. He didn't know anything. He didn't know that.
Why would he have?
He didn't know that Hamas was funded through Benjamin Netanyahu with money from Qatar. Qatar, which is one of the biggest allies of the United States. We have our biggest military base in the Middle East is in Qatar. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
Well, no, they're accusing like Ian Carroll of taking Qatari money.
Yeah.
You mean from our dear friend Qatar?
That's right.
We're a huge ally with? What are you talking about?
But the point is that guy never dropped the interview. He never dropped the interview. And now he stopped replying to our emails saying, "Hey, when are you going to drop that interview?" Not going to drop it. Why? Yeah. Because he looked foolish. Because he's the typical Zionist, doesn't know anything about the origin story for Israel, doesn't know anything about the Nakba, doesn't know anything about the Intifada, doesn't know anything about the Hannibal Directive, doesn't know anything about AIPAC, doesn't know any. All he knows is propaganda.
Okay, most
And he
people
won't.
don't. But,
And I kind of like that guy. I kind of like him. He was kind of courageous on certain things. But what a real douchebag move to have me get in my car, drive across the 40-minute round trip, sit there for over an hour to do an interview with him, and then not drop it.
Yeah, but Jimmy,
that's a douchebag move, is it not, Kurt?
Yeah, sure, but he's a famous guy. You don't understand what happens. Famous people get canceled by the General Miley faction of wokey people. What the gang that picks them up? You saw it with Gina Carano, all these people. It's Israel comes, Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
I suspect Russell Brand as well, because when you have Trump, they were coming down on Trump, and who pulled his fat out of the fire? And he's a man of his word to Israel.
That's right.
So there's only two gangs you could be part of, fascists and perverts. And there's a lot of crossover too, by the way.
So anyway, I don't know if anybody knows that guy, Winston what? Winston Marshall. Give him a hard time about it. Tell him to drop that interview. He's not going to drop it.
I wouldn't.
He's not going to drop it because apparently I have to guess now because he stopped communicating with us. I have to guess that he got embarrassed and humiliated.
How long?
He didn't know shit. He's another Zionist who got exposed for being a propagandist. He didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. And I even told him in the middle of the interview, I go, hey, I don't want to talk about this anymore. This is not why I came. I did not come on your podcast to have a debate about Israel Gaza. I thought we were going to talk about other things. He goes, we're going to get to it. But we did. I go, you want this? I go, we're going to talk about this the whole interview?
Yeah, well, Jimmy, Israel's a British project. You know that, right?
Yes, of course. That's where the Balfour Declaration. I bet he doesn't even know what that is.
Okay, well, so the big mastermind of everything is not Israel. It's been UK the whole time. They got America back. They sent the Stern gang and like Jewish terrorists in to fight the Arab. So they outsourced them fighting the Arabs who they were colonizing to Israel. That's why it was a real synergy. And to this day, that's why there's Hasidic Jews that don't approve of Israel. They're mostly here. In Europe, it's different because that's a British project. Richard Grove, I can't recommend Richard Grove's channel enough. Grand Theft World. You can get every little bit of history about it. But at the end of the day, the UK brought us back into the fold. They got Canada now with that Mark Carney guy.
Yes.
Israel's theirs. Iran, all the stuff with Iran. Who did we do that for? We did it for British Petroleum.
That's right. So when we overthrew Mossadegh in I think 1953 in Iran, which by the way democratically elected, a democratic country, was not run by religious zealots. We overthrew him because he was going to keep the oil money for his own people. So we were like, no, that's our oil money. That's British Petroleum's money. So the CIA instituted a coup, overthrew him, installed the Shah, who was a brutal dictator for 20 years. And then finally, there's a thing called blowback. So then, which the CIA coined that phrase, blowback, meaning when the CIA and the deep state fucks with the country hard enough, then it empowers the most radical right-wing, religious zealots.
Karma, some would call it.
Yeah, karma. And so now we got that Ayatollah Khomeini did an overthrow of that puppet government of the United States called the Shah of Iran. And now Benjamin Netanyahu wants us to go in there and decapitate the current government inside Iran and install the Shah's son.
Yeah.
That's what they want. That's their wet dream. Go ahead.
That's why Bannon kept saying Persia instead of Iran. It's called Iran. It's never been Persia.
Right.
Persia is a Greek name. The Greeks gave it after Perseus. But they're going to, what do you call it? The King of England, he traces his lineage back to King David of Israel. Did you know that?
No.
And also Muhammad. Now, I don't believe that he's related to them in any way, shape, or form, but they're colonial. So what they would do is when they colonize someplace, just like Alexander the Great did in Egypt, I'm related to your royalty. That's a thing Britain has done for years in their colonies, pretend the king's related to their greatest leaders.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, so Muhammad, David, the propaganda is like really almost kind of ancient almost.
So this is the kind of thing you don't get on the video clips. So you only get this if you're a premium member. This kind of discussion, this kind of in between, all the stuff. You only get that, and it's only $10 a month, $5 if you want the audio. It starts at premium membership start at $5 a month, and if you want to get $10 a month, you get the video. and you can rewind, fast forward. You get the entire show without any interruptions, without any editing. You get all this in between. Go to jimmydore.com, become a premium member. You'll help support the show. Plus, you get first dibs on tickets when we go touring. Plus, we do a premium streamium usually once a week where we'll either take your questions or we do a private stream just for you. There's lots of bonus stuff. Plus, you get the app. We have an app just for the Jimmy Dore Show. You could talk to other people who are premium members. I post on there. I should start posting on there more, but you get the Jimmy Dore Show app. So there's lots of things. Go to jimmydore.com, become a premium member. And you help support the show because YouTube, I don't know if you noticed, has changed their algorithm to screw over borderline content, which is what we're considered because we tell the truth, even harder. Our views went from 18, 19 million a month and down to 12. That's what happened. So we're working very hard to get our views back up and try to figure out ways to fight that algorithm. But, we're not on the corporate algorithm. That's just the way it is. We don't have a donor. I don't have an MSNBC contract. I don't have a donor. I don't have an APAC donor like other people that call up Google and say, hey, put this guy in the good algorithm.
Hey, how come nobody ever pays me to change my attitude about Israel, Jimmy?
I know. Nobody's even made an offer for me to change my attitude about Israel. No one even made an offer. I feel insulted. All right,
You just hack your phone. That's all you get.
Yeah, what they did hack my phone, my computer, and my iCloud account. They used Pegasus and they got control of it. It said, MacBook The now has control of your iCloud account. So that was to scare the hell out of me. And that was to also get compromat on me. So they were trying to get, some dirt so they could blackmail me in the future. Because they've tried to get me. They've tried to get me to go to things, and I don't go. And I don't take their money. And
dude, Rogan gets invited to go to bank things.
I bet.
New York.
I bet.
Yeah, and he doesn't go to them.
Yeah. Anyway, over to Steph.
All right. Thank you so much. This is from FU, 450 pages detailing how COVID was made in a U.S. lab. Jim Aslam. FU, it was always more like to go pandemic amongst East Asian populations because East Asians have a higher ACET2 receptor density than other races, which is how the virus enters the body. FU.
But he texted me. He didn't text you. He didn't put it in the Slack.
Homer. Enough ninja watching. I guess they're skipping the hypersonic missiles so they can keep the defense spending high. Thank you, Homer. Oh, where am I? There we go. Burn the files, CIA, savage. It's really cold in LA. Chemtrails, barefoot Pookie, unvaccinated guy. I love WODI and the blowfish. Houthi. Houthi, gotcha. Sorry. It was spelled funny. Last I checked, Catholics isn't a race. Fauci is a Zog. J-O-O.
I consider Catholics a race.
Slow flow rando. I will deal with Fauci and his friends in the afterlife. I'm eternally, and so are they. It's gonna be like Ghost when the shadow creature comes. Unvaccinated guy. Jimmy, get Dr. Martin on your show regarding this. Ro, thank you, Ro. Oh. How was this not solely on Rumble? From what I hear, the vaccines were not safe and effective. Jason and Nicole's love, JD, Steph, and other people pale. Jason. Thank you, Jason. Righteous anger equals go, Jimmy, go. Mack Truck 22. Nice to meet you at the San Jose Improv.
Nice to meet you.
Hearing that us South Bay area folks were a great crowd. Hey, please, this is a great story. Hater of hypocrisy. Please do a story on AB 1468. It strips First Amendment rights of teachers speaking on Israel and Palestine. Hater of hypocrisy. All right, I'll put that in the queue to share with the team. Thank you so much for that one. Please do a video on Invention Secrecy Act 1951. Thank you, Natalie. And that was from Fives. Rumble freezing on me. Few months now. Have to refresh every other word. I now just wait for the clips. Wish Panquake would be freed, Natalie. Natalie, I'm using Chrome when I'm on Rumble, and Chrome seems to be working pretty great. Climate and virus existence are both computer models, Brad Gilbert. Jimmy, YouTuber and ex-poster Anomaly, was on top of Fauci stuff in the beginning, like you too. X count at Legendary Energy. Thank you, Arbeeves. The only thing people hate more than being proven wrong is another person being proven right when they are simultaneously proven wrong. Why people won't get mad at Fauci and the U.S. government. Savage! Waj. Hey, Jimmy, I was at the San Jose show last night. Young dude with a tinfoil hat shirt on. I forgot to mention I'm double vaxxed and was fooled, plus college RQ. Waj, thank you for that.
I've been on Sam, what's his name? Sam Tripoli's show, right?
Yeah.
I thought I had been.
Yeah. I know you also did his podcast once upon a time when they were doing it at the Ice House.
Oh, that's right. I did at the Ice House.
Because I think there was some sort of revolving, like they were doing main room and
Yeah.
then the small room. Oh my gosh, big gong. Chester View says, we appreciate you, Jimmy. Few have your courage. Keep it up. Thank you so much. My_war. So the hurricane that hit Western North Carolina last year was nothing more than a coincidence. Something smells like a cover-up. Thank you for that one, My_war. Morty Duke, there's been more deadly weapons produced and more war on this planet since the UN was formed. So what exactly is their function? Good question on that. Morty Duke.
Said it's child trafficking. It's where you get your blow when you go into a new country. It's like a, it's like a hub.
Oh, by the way, today we traveled on a plane. Today, May 5th, we traveled, and they are asking for real IDs. And I'm not going to get a real ID. I'm going to hold out as long as possible, and I just used my passport. And it's like, I'm already TSA approved. Why do they need a real ID? I don't like the whole idea of it. And they were telling our friend Mike, who went through Clear, that they're going to possibly, even if you have a passport, they're still going to pat you down. Revolt!
Okay, ready?
Is real ID?
Back to Jimmy.